afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Bumal, and I serve as a finance director at DP World, a global leader in logistics and freight forwarding. So, it's truly a pleasure to join you here today at the Accounting and Controlling Summit 2025. We often hear a lot of buzz around artificial intelligence, AI in finance, AI in supply chains, in operation, but what does that really mean in practice? Today, I want to take you beyond the theory and into a practical discussion on how we have implemented AI at DP World, particularly in finance and freight forwarding, and more importantly, what impact it has created. This isn't about the future plan, it's about real-life implementation, the lesson we have learned, the results we have seen, and the challenges we have to overcome. I hope by the end of this session, you will leave with some concrete insights that can take you back to your organization, regardless of whether you are just starting out or already on your AI journey. So, a quick background on myself before we dive in. I have 20 years of experience in finance, covering multiple industries, but primarily focused on logistics and freight forwarding. At DP World, I lead finance transformation across several business units in Europe and beyond, overseeing budgeting, reporting, system integration, and digital projects. What's unique about my role is that it sits at the intersection of finance, operation, and technology. So when we talk about AI, I'm not looking at it just from a system point of view, but I'm looking at it from the lens of process improvement, cost optimization, compliance, and value creation for the business. That's why this topic resonates so strongly with me. I have seen firsthand how traditional finance teams can evolve from number crunching departments to strategic business partners with the help of the right technology and the right mindset. So why AI and why now? The short answer, because the environment for business demands it. Let me give you a few practical examples. At DP World, like many global businesses, we are dealing with enormous volume of data, from port operation, freight rates, vessel tracking, customer transactions, finance entries, customs, and more. And yet, much of that data is still underutilized. It's either scattered, structured, or stuck in silos. At the same time, we are facing constant margin pressure. In freight forwarding, for example, where gross profit margins are just 3 to 5%, a small error or inefficiency can raise the profit for an entire shipment. And beyond profitability, we face complex compliance and regulatory requirements from ESG to tax reporting to internal audit. Traditional tools and methods are simply not enough. AI offers the ability to process large volume of data quickly, to detect patterns that humans would miss, and to automate decisions in real time. But that's not just about speed. It's about resilience. It's about giving your team the tools to work smarter, faster, and more accurate decisions in a complex world. So, this isn't just a nice to have, it's a strategic necessity. So let's zoom into the freight forwarding space where I believe AI can create the most immediate and measurable value. Freight forwarding business, whether you're dealing with air, ocean, or road transportation, you're often operating at GP margin between 3% to 7%. There's very little room of error. And yet, many processes, especially in finance, are still handled manually. Accruals are tracked on Excel, revenue is recognized late, Invoices are matched days after cargoes moves, and reconciliation often done under pressure during month end, with little time for analysis, right? And yet, I have seen firsthand across multiple business units, the issue isn't lack of capability, it's lack of bandwidth and digital tools. The more transactions we handle, the harder it becomes to maintain the accuracy and compliance manually. AI comes in here as a partner, not to replace human, but to augment what we do. It can scan, match invoices to shipment events, it can predict cost anomalies, it can surface data quality issues before they hit the books. For finance leaders, this means we stop chasing numbers and start driving value. Let's now move into the finance function itself and talk how AI is actually changing the way we work. Traditionally, finance has been viewed as a gatekeeper, closing book, issuing reports, ensuring compliance. But in today's world, finance needs to be faster, more predictive, and more value-oriented. That's where AI fits in. We see three core benefits of AI in finance. First is predictive analysis. Instead of waiting for month-end report, AI helps us to forecast revenue trend, margin pressure, or cash flow risk in real time. At DP World, we have used machine learning to predict air freight volume before they drops, before they hit, and allowing sales and operations to react faster. Second is automation. Tasks like invoice matching, accrual generation, or even balance sheet reconciliation. This can be partially or fully automated using AI-driven tools. That means our team spends less time on repetitive work and more time on exception, analysis, and business partnering. Third, governance and control. AI can continuously scan data to detect anomalies, flag inconsistencies, and even more, policy compliance in real time. It's like having a set of digital auditors working for us. What's more important in this, AI doesn't replace the finance team. It strengthens them. It gives us back the time and insight to focus on what matters most, that is, value creation. Now, let's shift to the operational side in freight forwarding, where AI is playing a transformative role. Here, we applied three key areas for AI. First is rate predictions, right? In air and ocean freight, rate fluctuates constantly. Like everybody, we know every day, like all of a sudden we see a news and all of a sudden the rate goes down. It's a bit like the stock market, you know. So by using AI to track historical pricing, market condition, and seasonal patterns, we can now predict where rates are heading. This allows our procurement and commercial team to lock in better prices. It gives us finance better visibility on margins before the shipment even moves. Second, route optimization. AI looks at our shipment origin, destination, capacity availability, custom requirements, and transit delays, and suggests the most cost-effective and time-efficient route. One example, we save over 7% on transportation costs on major trade lanes simply by optimizing routes using AI. Third is customer service and visibility, right? I think many of you have seen when you go on a certain website, a small robot appear on the side and you can chat with it. It will chat with you like a human, right? So that's AI. So we have integrated AI into our chatbots and shipment tracking tools. This has reduced our response time to customers' queries and also freed up customer service teams to handle escalation instead of just routine follow-ups. Together, these cases doesn't just improve the bottom line, they enhance the experience, and also they give finance more accurate, timely data to work with. Right, so what are the results? Let's talk tangible measurable benefits. At DP World, through AI-led initiative, we have seen gross profit improves by 1 to 2% point, right? Mostly in the logistics, where a 0.5 points can give a major financial difference. Month-end process has been reduced by 2 full days. That may not sound like much, but for a controller managing multiple entities, 2 days is massive. It means less overtime, fewer bottlenecks, and faster financial visibility for leadership. And importantly, we have improved our governance and compliance. AI helps us flag inconsistencies earlier, reduce manual errors, standardize control across our business unit. These are not soft benefits, these are hard numbers, and they matter when you're dealing with high volumes, decentralized teams, and cross-border operations. It proves that AI isn't just technology, it's about delivering real business value. So, I want to share a few examples within DP World where AI isn't just a context, but it's creating impact. I don't know how many of you have heard about Box Bay, but in the shipping world, it is an innovative product, right? It is a high bay container storage system where we use AI to manage the stacking decisions. This means faster retrieval, fewer unproductive moves, and optimized space using the port terminal. It's not only operationally efficient, but it also reduces emissions and improves safety. At our Jebel Ali port in Dubai, we have deployed autonomous vehicles, right? And we know it's moved around by using AI. So this reduces our idle time and improve output. And in finance, we have improved AI-based tools to automate intercompany reconciliation, auto-generation, freight accruals, and even journal entries based on past behavior. So as you see, AI isn't just sitting in a lab. It's in our ports, in our trucks, in our finance system, and it's delivering value every day. One of our earliest and most high-impact use of cases we implemented was our AI-powered rate intelligence. If you work in freight forwarding, you understand this pain point immediately. Rate changes constantly, right? It's impacted by fuel prices, to geopolitical disruption, to equipment availability. By the time you react, it's often too late. What we did was to use AI to aggregate market data from shipping line, brokers, demand signals, and historical trend. And we use this to predict forward pricing, and this allowed our commercial team to lock in capacity at better rates. Let me give you a concrete example. We were able to anticipate rate increase on Asia, Europe, ocean trade by 3 weeks, allowing our team to adjust pricing and secure space at a more favorable terms. This is a great example of how finance and operations benefit simultaneously. Finance gains visibility, better accrual, and commercial gains a competitive edge in quoting. That's what power of AI when we apply to everyday freight operation. So here is another major win in automated accrual. Yeah? As finance professional, you know this task well. It's time-consuming, high risk, and critical to our close process. In freight forwarding, the complexity increased because shipment span over weeks. And with partial charges, milestone-based billing, and multiple cost components from haulage to custom to warehousing. Before AI, our team were using Excel trackers, cross-referencing shipment IDs with vendor invoice, and manually posting journal, often under tight deadlines. With AI, we train the system to match our event data with cost behavior, recognize recurring patterns, and even suggest accrual amount. What used to take 3-4 days across multiple controllers now run in hours and with tight consistency. And instead of spending time calculating accruals, our teams now focus on analyzing exceptions and improving forecasting accuracy. This use case wasn't flashy, but it had an immediate ROI in terms of time saved, accuracy improved, and stress reduced during month end. We look now at some real financial results, starting with ocean freight in gross profit. So we ran a 6-month pilot with our Spanish and French ocean team, where we implemented rate intelligence and automate costing model. The outcome? Our GP rose from 8.5% to 10.2%. That's a 1.7 percentage improvement. Now, what may sound small in the industry, but for freight forwarding, that's big, that's a huge amount. So what drove the improvement? That was faster recognition of profitable quotes, better alignment between expected and actual costs, more accurate invoicing, and fewer underbillings. This case study made it clear that business AI is not about reducing headcount, it's about amplifying profitability by reducing leakage. Another case study where in our air freight accruals. So in air freight, time is everything. Volume shift weekly, costs fluctuate by kilo, and transit times are unpredictable. In this case, we look at our air freight accrual process, which typically took around 7 working days to complete after month end, but the time accrual was finalized, leadership had already moved to other priorities. With AI-driven logic, matching simple shipment milestone, delivery confirmation, and past cost behavior, we shortened that cycle to 5 days. This 2 days reduction allowed us to submit our full P&L to the group earlier, align more closely with operational data, free up team capacity to support forecasting and stakeholder meetings. But beyond the numbers, the biggest benefit was our team morale. There was less rush, less late night work, and more confidence in accuracy. That's when we were presenting the numbers to the business, we were more sure of ourselves. Now, before I wrap up the success stories, I want to be completely transparent about the challenges. Because of AI, for all its benefit, is not a plug and play. The first and most critical challenge is data quality. You can have the best AI model in the world, but if your data is inconsistent, incomplete, or not aligned across systems, the model is useless. In our case, we had to invest in standardizing master data across 5 countries before we could scale any AI tool. The second challenge is change management. I think this can resonate with many of you. AI doesn't fall because of the technology. It fails because people don't trust it. They don't understand it, or feel that it threatens their role. You have to communicate clearly, involve your teams in pilot phases, and make it clear AI is here to assist, not to replace. And third is governance and ethics. We operate in a highly regulated cross-border business. So it is our duty to ensure that AI models are auditable, that decisions are traceable, and that we can stay compliant with data privacy laws and financial reporting standards. In short, if you don't build trust around your AI, you won't get adoption. And without adoption, you don't get value. Which brings us to the heart of sustainable AI, that is governance. For us at DP World, governance means more than just policies. It means ensuring master data was aligned across the system and geographies, embedding AI decisions within existing SOPs, not just creating shadow processes, setting up monitoring structures, so if a model goes off track, we know immediately. And let's be clear, this is where finance plays a critical role. Governance is in our DNA. We live in a world of reconciliations, controls, audit trails, and financial discipline. So when we are in a perfect position to lead AI, not to leave it to IT or data science team. It's also where we become guardians of responsible automation. But because the question isn't, can we automate this? It should be, should we automate this? And if we do, what guardrails must be in place? We learned that without governance, AI creates risk. But with governance, it becomes an asset that scales safely, adds controls, and improves transparency. So let's come back to the numbers. What kind of ROI have we actually seen? Across our finance and logistics pilot at DP World, AI delivered a gross profit of 1 to 2 percentage points, month-end reduced by 2 days, the DSO improved by 7 days, 5 to 7 days, and in some pilots, we even saw a 40% reduction in manual effort on recurring tasks. Now think about that. These are not just abstract metrics. They directly impact our cash flow, profitability, and team productivity. But more than just that, AI helps us shift finance from a reactive team to a proactive team. We don't rely on manual trackers, we get alerts. We don't chase missing data, we flag it upstream. And this is a true ROI, not just the savings, but a shift in how we work and how we lead. So, none of this would matter if we can't measure it. How we roll out our pilots, we have to agree early on. No AI project will scale unless we see measurable results. So we align our success across 4 core finance KPI. Gross profit percentage uplift, are we protecting enough or are we improving margin? Days to close a book, is AI helping us to move faster? DSO improvement, is cash flow benefiting from an early insight? Compliance exception, are we reducing risk or are we just adding noise? These are numbers we already track, but now they help us evaluate AI effectiveness. And here's the message I want to leave with all the finance professionals in this room. AI isn't just to be left to data teams or IT department. We, as finance leaders, must own the KPI, define the outcomes, and push for adoption. Because we understand the business levers. We know where the risk is and where the value lies. So, what's the next step? My recommendation is simple. Start small, but start now. Don't wait for the perfect tool or the perfect data. Pick up 2 or 3 cases where finance is already spending too much time and where margins are leaking. Set up a 90 to 100-day pilot, track real KPI, get feedback from the team, and if it works, scale it. But scale it with governance, with business ownership, and with finance at its center. AI is not something we can afford to sit back and study for years. Because while we wait, competitors are implementing it. Efficiency gaps are widening, and our teams are still drowning in manual works. AI is here, it's practical, it's powerful. And in the hands of finance leaders, it becomes a strategic advantage. I want to thank you sincerely, not just for your time today, but for your interest in how we as finance leaders can shape the future of business. At DP World, our motto is reimagining trade for the future, and I believe that applies equally to how we think about finance, automation, and the way we lead transformation. AI isn't about replacing people. It's about giving people the tools to work better, faster, smarter, and more strategically. And in a world that's constantly changing, that's what real leadership looks like. Thank you again, and I hope you walk away today with practical inspiration and confidence to act. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We should do some Q&A.
I have received some questions for you. Should we start?
Sure.
Okay. Will AI take over all finance tasks in the future?
No.
Okay, thank you.
That's the reason for that. If you look at the evolution of finance, right? We look in the past where finance was still a ledger in the books with lots of storage, right? And has evolved now after some time to Excel. And now we are evolving further by using AI to make our works improved. So it's not going to take any job.
Okay.
Instead, it's going to help us become better.
Sounds great. Sounds good. How do you think AI will change finance strategies?
Well, like I shared some of the examples, we are becoming more of a business partner instead of just running after numbers day to day, right? We are helping commercial teams to get advantage over our competitors by giving them better pricing, by giving them better insights. So this is one of the biggest strategy in any business, you can say.
All right. I think there's time for one last question. How will AI handle a discussion between customer and supplier by chatbots? Wouldn't there be blockings as they both have access to enormous data they can use?
Well, that depends on what are the governance we put behind the chatbots, right? If you don't put the strict rules and the right governance behind the chatbots, yes, there are cases where AI or the chatbots have given more information that it should by telling people about somebody's, we can say, salary, right? When we've seen that in the past, data leakage for chatbots. So with the right governance and the right rules, it should be okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Bumal. Give a big hand for Bumal Murchoyea. Thank you.